Hey everyone, Guadalupe's with her friends tonight, so I'm going into the gear closet to play. And I'm just noticing how disorganized this is, and just how much stuff I have to review. But I'll get to that. For now, let's see, what should we play with? How about this? A lot of you probably carry one of these. It's the catch-all stuff sack that carries a bunch of miscellaneous items, anything from toothbrush and toothpaste to notepad or your headlamp. Just something that carries all the stuff that you don't normally wear on your person when you're backpacking or want to have buried deep in your pack. So I call this my Sundries Kit. I don't know what you guys call it, but I think that's an apt name. But I thought today would be fun just to kind of go through this and see some of the stuff that I carry. Now this system has evolved over time, and I've dropped some things and I've added some things just based on what I thought I needed and what I actually used. And but pretty much I carry this with me on almost every hike, whether it's a day hike, snowshoeing, or whether it's a week-long trip or a weekend trip. Of course, I modify it based on conditions and other needs, and I'll talk about that a little bit in the video. But for now, let's see what's inside. Why don't we start with the stuff sack itself. This is a Granite Gear Air Bag, and it's still nylon. And the reason I like it is not just because it's so lightweight, but because the sil nylon is really slippery, so that means it's really easy to slide it in and out of your pack without a lot of resistance. So this is the perfect size for me. I like this a lot. And you'll see that I've attached a micro light to it, to the end of the draw cord. And that's just for a number of reasons. One is that it's a backup light in case I run out of batteries with my headlamp. But also, if I want to open the sack at night, I've got this light attached to it, and I can easily just kind of peer in there in the middle of the night if I need to dig something out or whatever. But I like that addition, and I like the fact that it's kind of it also serves as a backup. Doesn't really add any weight. I don't even know what brand this is. I think it's generic. It's kind of like a Photon Freedom microlight, but not really. It's probably not as good, but it works. All right, let's open it up and see what we've got. On the top, you'll notice that I've got a bandana. I probably don't have to explain to you why I carry a bandana, but I always try to keep that right in the top of the pack for easy access. I've got a little bottle of foot powder here that I've so cleverly labeled with Scotch tape, and I only really carry this on longer trips. I pretty much don't take this on overnight or something like that, but 3 days or a week, definitely like to have a little bottle of foot powder. Cord, this is Kelty Trip Tees. Normally I actually carry some Mason's line. I like that a lot because it's strong, but it's a lot thinner than this, so it's less bulky. Pretty much you can use it for bear bagging and for setting up guy lines for your tent. I just happened to run out, so now I've got some Kelty Trip Tees in here until I can get some more. And of course, if I'm bear bagging, I'm going to take a longer length, maybe 30 feet, 40 feet, something like that. The stick pick, gotta have one of these. If I have a pack with hip belts, I'm probably going to carry this in the hip belt pocket, just so it's easier to access, so I don't have to dig through my pack to pull it out to take a great photo. Hand sanitizer. Love this stuff because it's multi-purpose. I'll get to that in a minute. But one thing you can use it for, besides cleaning your hands, is a fire starter. But in a minute here, I'll show you another reason why I carry that and how it works with another piece of gear that I carry in here. Mini deck of cards. It's optional. I like to carry it if we're expecting rain. I might spend a lot of time in the tent. But don't take this too much, but every once in a while, just for fun, why not? Okay, first aid kit. So I've done a video on my first aid kit. I keep it in a Loke sack bag. And if you want to see what I carry inside here, you should go to my blog or my YouTube channel and check out my video on my first aid kit. I'm not going to go through all that now. I just wanted to point out a couple things that I think I didn't mention in the video that I carry in here. One is a small sewing kit, and you can see I've got a really tiny pair of scissors in there. Because I really just carry a knife. I don't carry a multi-tool, so having an extra, tiny set of scissors like that is useful. Not only for sewing, but for other things. But I've got it's a pretty robust sewing kit. I've had to use it only one time, but it definitely came in handy when I broke my pack strap in Canyonlands. And here's another thing I didn't point out in my first aid kit video, which is these cotton pads that I snag from my wife when she's not looking. These are multi-use for a couple of reasons. One is what I just mentioned about the hand sanitizer. So if I want to clean out a wound, this is a really good combination. So I can use the sterilizer and clean out a wound really well, and it works for that. But if you fluff them up, you break them apart and you fluff them up, it's a good fire starter. And as you can see, I keep them in a really small Ziploc bag in addition to being inside the loke sack bag. So there's no way this stuff's getting wet. So I've always got dry tinder available. So those two things work together very well and take up almost no space or weight. So that's about it for the first aid kit. Let's see what else we've got in here. Yeah. Wet ones. These things are great. One thing I really hate is trying to use soap and water when you're camping to clean your hands. It's just kind of a hassle. There's environmental concerns, etc. But these are great for just cleaning up before or after dinner, and they weigh almost nothing. Really convenient. Like these a lot. Imagine if you dried those out, you could probably also use those for fire starters. Whoops, there goes my Fisher Space Pen, which I was going to show you with my Write in Rain notepad. So this is a waterproof pad, and really like these things. I've actually done a video on this too, and this pen, the Fisher Space Pen. Some people carry a pencil, and that's fine. You can sharpen it with your knife or something like that, but I really like the ink. It just writes really well in here. It's more indelible, and I just really like this combination a lot. So sometimes I like to take notes in camp, and for me that's worked out pretty well. It doesn't weigh too much. Okay, so here's one of three things I carry for fire starting materials. One is the REI stormproof matches. I've done a video on that too. Maybe some of you have seen that. But I like redundancy. So I also carry an extra mini Bic, and something else I recently did a video on, the Exotac Nano Striker flint. So I've got three different methods for starting a fire, and I carry that tinder with me too. So I'm pretty well equipped to start a fire in basically any condition, even if a couple of my methods fail. So I like that redundancy just to make sure that it's fail-safe. A couple other things I carry. These small tubes of sunscreen and insect repellent made by Sawyer. And these are pretty cool. I like these a lot. They're spray, which I like. I don't like the cream stuff that you have to smear on there, and it's kind of greasy and oily and it gets all over your hands. But I can just spray some, for example, sunscreen on the back of my neck, or I can spray some insect repellent on my hat or on my bandana if I'm wearing it around my neck or something like that. But these are really compact. They don't weigh that much, and there's a lot in there, a lot more than you think, and you don't need too much, especially when you go with something like this that's mostly DEET. But I really like these things. You can get them at Walmart pretty cheap, so that saves the day in a lot of cases. Of course, in the winter I don't carry the insect repellent. That's one of the things I adopt. Toothbrush, very simple El Cheapo, travel toothbrush that I bought from the supermarket. And for toothpaste, I use this. This is a really micro-sized tube of toothpaste that I got in China. I've got a bunch of these, and they're running out, and I'm really scared because when they run out, I'm gonna probably have to fly back to China to get some more. But despite all the concerns about Chinese toothpaste, I still use this stuff. It worked fine. It's almost identical to a Crest or something like that. But anyway, these things are great, and you can see they take up almost no space. But when these run out, I'm going to have a hard reality to face. Headlamp. This is a Petzl Tika Plus. A great headlamp. I recently changed to this from my Princeton Tech EOS. And now I'm thinking about upgrading to the one that has the red light too. Just not sure if I'm ready because I recently just got this one. But that's a great headlamp. Like it a lot. And toilet paper. Now, normally I carry biodegradable. This is just regular stuff, but I just carry, depending on how long I'm going out, length of biodegradable toilet paper in like one of these kind of smaller snack-sized Ziploc bags. So that's that. All right, guys, that's about it for this video. So 3 questions for you. Do you carry one of these? What do you call it? And what do you carry in it?